So yeah, we're sitting here trying to figure out what's going on in the world of church politics. Deitrick Haddon is at it again, and we're calling this the Deitrick Haddon effect, to twerk or not to twerk. Listen, the problem I see here in this whole thing, and it shouldn't take me long to even explain to y'all what's going on here, is that the problem is not really what Deitrick Haddon did, the twerking with his wife at the party. That's really not the problem. The problem is who he is, how did he get there, and what you all made him. Let's talk about that in 60. Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, 'cause he's got something to say.
Sirwalterj, Sirwalterj.
He's got something to say. Sirwalterj.
Report live 7 days a week, always on time, but this time is not free. Sirwalterj, always on fleek. Latest trending topics, how you jumping out your seat.
He's got something to say.
Come on in. The water's fine.
Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the midday connection. What? Baby. How y'all is? Come on in. The water is indeed fine. I'd like to tell y'all that I like you. I like you a lot until I don't like you. Today we're talking about Deitrick to the Haddon. My like meter on him, it stays flatline. He doesn't change. One thing I can respect out of Deitrick to the Haddon is that he do not change. So the scripture says, I would have you hot or cold, not lukewarm. He is not hot, he's not cold, he lukewarm, and which means he changes not. My compassion changes not for him as well. Listen, as I was getting ready to prepare for this show, breaking news, Tina Turner has passed. The great Tina Turner, the one that most of us young men would admire, private dancer, dancing for money. Those legs, we love the legs. Sound like Donald Trump. We love the legs, but don't we, folks? She's gone. Died today, a few minutes ago. Well, at least we got the report a few minutes ago. She was 83 years old. Tina Turner has given us an amazing life of tragedy and come out of it with the abuse of her husband and with the amazing career that come out of that. And she began to do her solo projects and travel the world, and she became an amazing example of how a person can go from rags to riches and from abuse to tragedy to triumph, that is. And so we want to pray for her family. I don't know her family. I do know that she left America years ago. I saw the documentary. For those of you who have not seen the Tina Turner documentary, you really need to see it. It is breathtaking. And to hear it from her point of view really lets us really know what was going on inside the mind of Tina Turner and the things that was going on with her abusive husband. All right, so let's pray for the family. Now, getting back to Deitrick Haddon, I'm calling this the effect. If you go on YouTube, you'll see a lot of videos of people who were talking about this young man and his lewd, the thing that he did, which we feel was lewd with his wife here. For those of you who didn't see it, unfortunately, I will I will show it to you. I'm not going to play the song. This is Drop It Like It's Hot. This is Deitrick and his wife, and, they do what they do. All right. If you go and listen to and watch the video, you'll notice that the song is the unedited version. He didn't even play the edited version. He played the version that has all of the cussing and lascivious lyrics in it. And that part right there is not a surprise that he would play that part of the song, because it's based off of who this young man is. Listen, I like to dance. I like to listen to a lot of secular music. I really enjoy it, and I would listen to it with my daughter. I don't listen to the styles that is very raunchy and with cussing lyrics and demeaning and undressing women. I don't listen to those. Although the songs that we listened to in the 60s and 70s and 80s were left to your imagination, and some were not left to your imagination. They just let you know what was going on, but they used contrasts and codes and certain words that you knew they were talking about sex, but they just didn't come out and say the words that you're hearing in songs today. A lot of it was ambiguous. Some of the songs were, but you knew they were talking about sex. Okay. Today it's obviously, thank you, Tawana. Yeah, tact. Obviously today it's much worse. They're not leaving anything to your guessing. They're letting you know, Dr. K, good to see you, that this is what we're doing. And so I don't listen to those songs, but I do listen to secular music. The songs that I listen to are songs that it takes me into a reflection of good times, happy times, great memories of my childhood and my youth and with my children and stuff like that. And a lot of love songs too that don't make me get all excited and want to pick up the phone and call some woman. I don't listen to those type of songs, right? And those songs don't even affect me. I just don't have that. I don't need that kind of blockage. Many of you may do, but it don't bother me whatsoever. All right, and so I dance here at the house. My daughter's almost 30, and we still act crazy in the house together. And there's some things that you all will never see me do. All right, you'll never see me dressed in an appropriate way. You'll never see me in my house coat. You'll never see me even in my pajamas. There was one time that I did go live, and I was in the bed in my pajamas. And the name of that show, I think it was called Test Sex. I was given an analogy of how when I was married, my wife didn't want to have sex with me. She test sexed me because she thought I was cheating on her. So she thought I was cheating on her that night. And so that, she knew my body, she knew my style, what have you. She knew that. Anyway, I don't want to go too far in that. And so I was in the hotel room when I did that show, and it's probably still on Facebook. And I was in my pajamas. That's the only time that you all saw me in my pajamas. That was one of them special shows that I was trying to show y'all something here. Outside of that, you just don't. Every time you see me dressed in, either I have a suit and tie on or I just have a shirt on, and I don't care where I am, because that is private between me and my family, me and my daughter and my son and my grandchildren. It's private. And even when someone comes over to the house, one of Rebecca's friends, I put clothes on. You won't see me walking around with my house coat, with my robe on. No, I put clothes on because I don't want them to see the man of God looking in a way that, this doesn't look right. What this young man, Deitrick, is doing here is being free. He's very liberal, and he's doing things that he feel that it's okay to do because it's his wife. That is the mentality that he have. And when you go to YouTube and see all of the people who are unpacking this, they're going after him. But I'm going to go after him in another way, less going after him, but more so going after you all. See, it's not about Deitrick Haddon. It's really about you all. It is. Here, you'll see this person here. Whose YouTube channel is this? This is Waka Gospel. They did a thing a whole year ago about, has Deitrick Haddon gone too far? Deitrick Haddon always go too far. Every few years, he go too far. All right. And so this here, let me see if I can play some of this. I'm probably going to get a copyright issue here.
It made people wonder if we need to rethink our understanding of words, especially when they are coming from someone speaking on a subject they know nothing about. Deitrick Haddon's adult word touchery made a fierce impact on youth in the church.
Okay, so they're speaking about Deitrick Haddon and his words. He wrote a book and he decided to put certain words in the book, and then he decided to be more open with words. Words shouldn't affect anyone. Just use words. It doesn't matter how gruesome the words are. Just be free to use them.
And this is not a good thing. And second, his book has been criticized for targeting children and teaching them to curse. This is not an appropriate language to use when talking about God. The author has admitted that the book was written to make money, and since it has done so, he will come up with more books like this one. What makes this even worse is the fact that Deitrick Haddon admitted he does not believe in hell or eternal punishment, which means his message of living life to the fullest will be promoted in the church even more. Third, his latest sermon became viral after he revealed his thoughts on sex. Deitrick Haddon was caught preaching about the need for adult words in preaching. The sermon was recorded and uploaded to YouTube, being heard by many.
Okay, so, and let me show you how he's living up to what he feel it's okay to do. Right? Here are his words. Here, let me see. Will this work? Don't be a dummy. Okay. Let me go to the other one. Right here. All right. As you can see, this is Deitrick's words. This is from his account here. He says, "Don't be a dummy and throw good friendships and potential business away over some vagina." All right. I remember this post. You're not even gonna want after you bust a few. You see there. Get wise and choose brotherhood and business over the P word there. You can get sex anywhere, but you can't get a brother back once you've crossed the line. All right. And he's testifying. Okay. Those were his words. Some of you might remember that. All right. So, and then he did respond to you all going after him for the twerking with he and his wife.
Everybody needs an opportunity to speak their own piece versus everybody having an opinion.
I want them to run their mouth because it's something to talk about. It's something to have a conversation at the table about this, because it's time to be free in God and without being in sin. It's time. You go find you a wife that you can grind on you and pray with you when you're done. Don't get no woman wrapped in swaddling clothes. I've been there, done it. I can't do that. So it's time. It's time. Because if we don't do it,
swaddling clothing.
If we don't do it, man, we're going to lose so many more marriages, man. We got to show them the truth.
Man,
that's the only way we stop bleeding. Love you more, man.
Yeah, they found that exciting. And again, it's not so much about Deitrick Haddon as it is about many of you who have placed him in a position. Okay? It shouldn't take long to do this show at all. How many effects have we done for people like this? You see, when you really think about it, it's not that hard. The world, in fact, the United States is the land of the free and home of the brave, so-called. The freedom part has messed us up. The danger of being in the United States or having a country like the United States is the freedom part. It's dangerous. Because then everything comes in, gets in, you allow everything. Freedom comes with a great, great cost. So this is why we were having border issues. It became a melting pot, and everybody just jumped in over the few hundred years. And then our laws began to represent the people who want to be living in a freedom society. But because of that freedom society, we are number one. You're like, number one? We are number one? Yes. In drug addiction. We're number one. In crime. We're number one. Guns and murders, and killings. We're number one. we can't sleep at night. We're number one when it comes to taking some type of sleep aid. We're number one. Understand? We're not the greatest nation in the world. We just act like it. We're number one. Because we live in a free society. With that, coupled with that, comes Christianity. Christianity is a religion of freedom. Everybody who was born in a human state can become a part of this noisy band of folks called Christians. Everybody can. There's a problem with that. Jesus, you presented a problem. When you said anybody who will come. You presented a problem, Jesus. Big problem, big problem. Now I'm being facetious here. Big problem, Jesus. The problem is everybody is coming. But everybody who's coming is coming to the door. But they're not really knocking. And those who seem to be in the house didn't get there at the front door, and it was opened by the proper authority. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You see, Christianity, there's liberty in it. The problem with it, there's no problem with Christianity, but for the sake of argument, hear me. The problem with it is that everybody's a professed Christian. But what we're doing is we are, what do you call it? When you are acting like a police, but you're not a police, and you're going around arresting people, and then you can get in trouble for that. There's some people who are, say that they're lawyers and they're practicing law, but they have no license. There are people who are doctors practicing medicine, have a practice, but they have no license, never did. They are impersonating an authoritative person who went to school for many years, paid the fees, and suffered blood, sweat, and tears to become this person of authority, and they perpetrating and impersonating someone who they have no right to do. That's what's happening in Christianity. So what's happening here with Deitrick Haddon is not what he did in the Twerk video. It's who you all made him, because he said, this is who I am. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying here? So there are people who say they are Christians. You see, in Congress, these men and women are looked to as respectful citizens. They're not private. Obviously, they're in government. But there are certain things that they cannot say, and there are certain things they cannot do, and there are certain places they cannot be caught, because it does not look right, because they represent government. That branch of government which write up laws and pass laws before it gets to the executive branch. So they have to look a certain way. That's why they're dressed in suits. Whenever you see them in Congress, they all dressed in their blue suits or black suits. All right. They go to certain places, but certain places you will never find them. Privately, though, their not the constituents, but their co-workers go to those certain places, but there are no cameras there. They go to some wild places, and there are no cameras there. The problem today is the cameras. Since the invention of the smartphone, Christians have been caught in some crazy stuff. So those in Congress have this this code of ethics that they have to follow, even though we know they're not following it, but they cannot let you see that they're not following the code of ethics. Do you understand? Rich people don't let y'all into their parties. Rich people go to certain gatherings. Poor people are not allowed to go. Rich people have a certain language that poor people don't know the language, or they act like they know the language. You see, poor people buy expensive cars and buy a lot of clothes or what have you, acting like they're rich, but they're not rich. They're living check to check, trying to impress other people who don't even like them. I don't even know you. Why are you trying to impress me? So they put on these particular clothes and buy all these things, and they're living from check to check, and they got 2 and 3 jobs to try to maintain what they have, but they are impersonating a wealthy person. You understand? But when you look at a wealthy person, they don't even show you that they're wealthy. Rich people, wealthy people, more so, there's a difference between wealth and rich. A wealthy person dresses like me. They put on faded jeans and they put on just regular gym shoes. You see, they drive around in regular Ford Chevys and what have you, that may cost about 20 or 30, at most $30,000. That's even high. They moderate. They go to regular places, okay? And you may not see them in the Walmart. No, when it comes time for them to do some real shopping, they go into places that you can never go into. And when you go into there, you always asking how much is that. A rich person don't ever ask how much. They just go in there and they know what they want. You see, a rich person look a certain way. You think that when you see all of these bling bling folks walking around that they're rich. No, they're not wealthy. They're acting rich, and they could lose everything because they live on a thin thread. Christians, at least those who say they're Christians, act the same way like the poor, right? They act like a Christian. They use certain words. They put God and Jesus in their talking points, and sometimes in their songs, they'll go the same typical tongue words that you'll hear. All right. And they go to the Christian events. One thing missing, though, is that they are not a child of God. They just look like it. And the problem is, it is the people who are heralding them as such. So what's the problem with the Deitrick Haddon effect? He's not a pastor. I could have said that 30 minutes ago or 22 minutes ago. He's not a pastor. He said he is. He is impersonating a pastor. He has all of the bling that you see as a pastor. He's got a church like a pastor, members like a pastor, and a following all over the social media like a pastor. But he's not a pastor. So I can say anything I want to say. I can say this is what I am, but does that mean that is what I am? If I go and try to arrest someone, I don't have the authority to put handcuffs on someone and take him down to the jail, because then the jail is going to say, hey, who gave you the authority to do that? I can't represent any of you in court. I don't have the authority to represent you. I can't not. Matter of fact, I can't do it. If I go there, I'll get in trouble. I'm about to say something. So last week in the Sunday school lesson, we were even talking about that. Look at this. This is 1 Peter chapter 4. He says, you won't spend the rest of your life chasing your own desires, but you will be anxious to do the will of God. You have had enough in the past of the evil things that godless people enjoy. What? Was Deitrick not watching the show? Godless people enjoy this kind of stuff. Their immorality, lust, their feasting and drunkenness and wild parties, and their terrible worship of idols. Everything you saw in the video. Now watch this. Look what he said further on. He says, of course, your former friends are surprised. Your former friends are surprised when you no longer plunge into the flood of wild and destructive things that they do. So they slander you. wait a minute, this is weird. And so he's being persecuted by the church. And so he's trying to say, how dare y'all, this is my wife, blah, blah, blah. But no, you're not being persecuted. This same book here by Peter is saying, be persecuted for Christ's sake, not for all this crap here. Be persecuted for what you're doing for Christ and not for partying and revelry. That's the right word. All right. So Jesus said it best, who Deitrick Haddon and his cohorts are. And I'm going to tell you right here. Let me read it to you, and then we can go. All right? Give me 5 minutes right here. I tell you the truth, anyone who sneaks over the wall of a sheepfold rather than going through the gate must surely be a thief. Deitrick Haddon is a thief. Tell him I said it. Deitrick Haddon is a thief. And you all let him walk around. He's a thief. And you all are celebrating a thief. You're listening to his music, you're downloading his MP3, you're buying his books, and you're enjoying he's a thief. And when you see his videos, his music videos, notice how he brings in a lot of worldly examples, and you don't really hear about Jesus and salvation and evangelism. Why? He's a thief. And the robber. Can y'all tell me the difference between a thief and a robber? Huh? He's a perfect example. Perfect example. You see, I stole before. I repented, was punished for my crime, and now I'm fine. I was a thief. I'm not a thief anymore. Deitrick is walking around parading as a thief. And Paul wrote a letter to the church and says, you all are boasting in this. So Paul was not just punished, was not rebuking the man who was sleeping with his father's wife. That's not what Deitrick is doing, but this is the same example. He was talking about y'all get this man about the church. He says, but you all should be punished for you all boasting in this. So a thief will break in your house and steal stuff. A robber, right in your face, stick him up. He doing them both. And y'all don't even see it. Y'all don't see it. A thief try to hide. A robber don't care. Come on. Ron Pringle, good to see you, sir. Yeah, robber steals with force. This is what he's doing. He's forcing his theologies down y'all's throat. He's a thief. But the one who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep recognize his voice and come to him. You all who are following him, y'all are his sheep. Y'all are Deitrick's sheep. You have to be. He calls his own sheep by his name and leads them out. After he has gathered his sheep flock, he walks ahead of them and they follow him because they know his voice. Y'all are following after Deitrick because y'all understand his voice. And they won't follow a stranger. They will run from him because they don't know his voice. That's me right there, y'all. Look what it say. Those who heard Jesus use this illustration didn't understand what he meant. So he had to explain it to them. He says, I tell you the truth. I am the gate for the sheep. Right there. You see, when I used to read this, I didn't realize what part did Jesus play here. Because here it says, the gatekeeper opens the gate. I thought that might have been Jesus right there. But look what he's saying. He said, I'm the gate for the sheep. What? All who come before me were thieves and robbers, but the true sheep did not listen to them. Yes, I am the gate. Those who come in through me will be saved. They will come and go freely and will find good pasture. The thieves' purpose is to steal kill, and destroy. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. Okay, right here. You all always told me that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That's a true statement. The problem is it's out of context. This is not even talking about the devil. Did y'all hear that? This verse not even talking about the devil. This verse is talking about your leader, or in whom you are allowing to lead you. The thief comes. Your pastor or the false teacher or the false preacher, the false apostle, the false prophet comes to kill, steal, and destroy. How he get in the house? Deitrick Haddon is in the house. You let him in. It is the city of Troy. They created this horse from the Trojan horse, as a gift. You had great walls and gates, but you opened up the gate. See, the Trojan soldiers hid inside the horse. And you said, this is a beautiful horse. Open up the gate and let him in, and they let the horse in, and they closed the gate, and then they went to bed at night. And at night, the Trojan soldiers opened up the horse and began to wipe folks out. That's what the Pied Piper did. Play your instrument. You see, Deitrick Haddon is not a pastor. He's an R&B artist. Deitrick Haddon is a soul artist, impersonating a gospel artist, impersonating. He's a motivational speaker, impersonating a pastor. You understand? And so when he told y'all he don't believe in hell, which means he don't believe in the devil, then that gospel of inclusion should tell you he can't be a pastor. But even though he told y'all, this is what I believe, this is what I am, you all go crazy when you hear him talking, when you hear him sing, especially the women. So him twerking at his 50th party is just the soup du jour. This is what he does. So why did I even waste my time talking about something that is obvious him? And what is that? He's a great impersonator, like how I impersonate Donald Trump. You understand? That's what he does. So now that you know, his effect is the same effect that Kirk Franklin and Leandria Johnson and there's so many of these artists out there who has the same effect. Many of them just do what they do. They entertain. You get it now? Is it making sense now? All right, boys and girls, share this with your family and friends, will you please? Let them know. And the wolf is still out there. The wolf is still out there. Yeah, there are better gospel impersonators. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay? Yeah, Pied Pipering. Stop fussing about women. I'm no dumb blonde believer. Wait, what is that? I will not let a man lead me to hell. That's what discernment is for. I remove myself silently, quickly. Come on, Michelle. Yes. You're welcome, Connie. Yeah. Yeah. Imposters. I just want to see if I missed anything. Just want to make sure y'all have any questions. Okay, top of the day to you, Loanne. The show's pretty much over. You all can go. I'm just gonna go to the comments section. And hey, Dinah, so good to see you. Always good to see Dinah. All right. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I don't think I missed anything. When Jehovah said, "Take not the way of the Canaanites," he meant it. Priscilla. Yeah, that's good. All right. So, there are many of you, Christian, that's right, read and tear. There are many of you Christians who said it's okay for him to do what he did. That tells me where you are. We are. Y'all got to stop showing people who you are. I wonder what he would say if his daughter was bent over like, yeah. The ones who were saying it's okay for him to do what he did and putting his wife out there, that's the problem. Putting his wife out there like that. Can you imagine him taking his wife's bra off and start to suck her breast? Well, y'all were like, no, that's too much. This wasn't too much? I mean, he's simulating. You might as well just go ahead and do the act. Again, Christianity, you all have made it such a lukewarm family that the whole world is like, I don't want to be part of that. That's why so many people are joining the Muslim faith. Why? You won't see a Muslim man or a Muslim woman do what Christians do in public. Mm-hmm. Yep, his wife went along with it. I still blame him for it. I blame her as well, but he's supposed to be the leader of the house. The pecking order is the husband and then the wife. Eve ate the fruit. Nothing happened. When she gave it to Adam, the Bible said, suddenly. So I'm telling y'all, I have a lot of Muslim friends. I've been to Muslim mosques. I've gone to the mosque here in Chicago, Farrakhan, that my coworkers were Muslims. I never see this with them. I drive up and down and shop in their communities. I never see this on social media. I never see them act this way. Christians do, though. It's amazing to me. Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing to me. To me, they're not connected to Christ as their source, which is why I think they gravitate to this type of foolishness. You got it, Simone. This is the whole reason why I went live. Those men are going to be looking at his wife much differently now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Self-respect is high in the Muslim community. Yep. Muslims are very disciplined. Come on, y'all. Mm-hmm. Is there a possibility you could go over African spirituality? I've heard people argue that this was before Christianity. I can think about that. Let me put this in your folder, DK Smith. So when you say African spirituality, that's a broad question though, because that's a whole continent. There's a lot of different aspects of spirituality there in Africa. A lot of spirits, a lot of gods, lowercase g, a lot of beliefs. All right, it's a lot. There's a lot of things that predate Christianity, and we definitely can unpack that. All right. Yeah, the fox is sleeping in the hen house. A little leaven, leaven's the whole lump. Y'all are preaching here. Yeah. Impersonate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So TN says, we know the fruit by the tree. Practice it is all folklore. Yeah. It is. I can unpack a lot of that folklorishness because the Muslims believe that they predate Christianity. The fight in humanity is two people. Actually, it's one, but we can kind of split it. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the problem. See, Abraham, fine. As soon as he drops seed, that's where the problem happens. Esau came out first. And then here's the problem. Ishmael, I'm sorry, I'm saying Esau. I'm thinking of Jacob. Ishmael came out first. And that's the problem. Ishmael. And they thought they can help God. And then the promised child of Isaac, when he came on the scene, I'm going to do a show now. Let's talk about that, okay? So if we can always remember in all of the world histories and religions around the whole world, if we could look at Ishmael and Isaac, those two stories, then we will have the answer to all of the world religions and who was first and who came after that. Who came first, the chicken or the egg? Right? Because then came another fight out of that with Jacob and Esau. That was another fight. But that fight made a lot of sense. Yeah. Tainted fruit. Spots are on the underbelly. Inspect it all. Man, that's great. I like that. I remember his wife didn't really want to be a holy wife when they were on the show about preachers of it. Yep, Helen. I remember that too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can unpack that. It was a great question, y'all. So let's see how we can unpack D.K. Smith's question in another show. I would love to do that. What predates what? All right. So yeah, he has a history. I'm done talking about Deitrick Haddon. Right? I'm gonna go eat some lunch. Believe it or not, I hadn't had any. And we'll talk to y'all real soon, okay? Meet me tomorrow for Theology Thursday. Yeah. All right, y'all pray for the Turner family. I don't know her family, Tina Turner, at the time of this recording, has just died. She was 83 years old, lived a very interesting life, gave us the American music journey, and her story of relationships, how be it toxic, in her book, have helped a lot of women who was in domestic violence, how to get out of it, and so we could celebrate her for the good things that she did and things she talked about. I don't know her life with the Lord. I prayed, but I do know in the documentary she was a pagan worshiper. I don't know what happened before she died, her latter couple years, I don't know. But right now I can't pray for her. I pray for her family and those friends and loved ones. God, thank you for your presence and your blessings and the people who are here. I pray for Deitrick Haddon, his wife, everybody who is a part of that church, misled. He's a thief, and I know, God, you can clean up the thief, clean me up when I stole. The perpetual stealing, though, still, you can clean him up, make him whole, save him for real, and so that he can get out there and preach the gospel to a loss. We love you, God. We give your name the praise in Jesus' name. Thank God. Amen. Talk to y'all later, y'all. Tomorrow, hit the share button or listen to the moderators. They're going to tell you what to do.